Hello and welcome to my channel. After a bit of a shaky start, didn't think it was going to work. Here we go. So, part 3, we now have the report in, the full report on the autism spectrum disorder and their findings. I'll go through it slightly with you. Obviously I'm going to read you all of it. It'll take far too long. Anyway, the first main line that it says in there in bold, confirmed diagnosis as a result of this assessment. There you go. So, autism spectrum disorder. What I wasn't too happy about was it didn't actually tell me, where I am on this scale, where I am on this spectrum. Does it go from 1 to 10? Does it go 1 to 5? Am I number 4? There's no clue. So what we have to do now, there were more forms to fill in, and I'm now being referred to Whiteley, which is my closest autism bods, for want of a better word, who hopefully can read the report, explain it more to me, because obviously I've got question marks on it, and see a way forward and see what there is that they can help me with, which would be good. It sort of goes into, it says we recommend the following actions for your consideration. Linda's difficulty with change, new events and social anxiety can cause her significant difficulty. Oh yes. She may want a referral for some therapy around these areas. But the therapists themselves would need to make adjustments for Linda's autism spectrum disorder. It's 3 words that don't actually mean a lot to me. They're not telling me where I am on this spectrum. Anyway. So and it goes on, it says the source of information, the disclaimer, the more. So there we go. It says how to make the most of your report. Report is written in different sections. The cover page is a summary, which you may choose to share with others, and it's addressed to your GP. This does not give any of the details you gave during the assessment. So the GP gets a basic letter that says she's on the spectrum. We're forwarding her to more specialists. Then there was the form. It was the consent form. I had to fill in to say yes. Forward me on. And it says, thank you for participating, there we go, in an assessment for autism spectrum disorder on the 7th of August 2020. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we carried out the assessment via video using Attend. Corroborating information about your current difficulties was provided by your husband. He did. He had to fill a form in. It says, why am I having the assessment? Because I wanted it, and I did go to the doctors and say, I want one. Your physical and mental health. You suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. Oh yes, we know that one. No news there then. But generally manageable, as you've created a world that minimises stress, including change. Yes, that's mainly because I stay in my craft room, which is where I'm sat now. And when I do go out, I'm very choosy on where I go out to. I don't go out to parties or pubs or big gatherings. I don't do things that are going to rag me up now. So there you go. Your physical and mental health. So, yes, we did more sheets on it, and it came up with, it suggests I've got severe anxiety. We knew that. And then it suggests moderate to severe depression. Well, we knew that. Physically, yes, I have chronic fatigue. Yes, I have fibromyalgia, which was diagnosed in 2010. I have high blood pressure, yes, which is medicated. That's fine. I have high cholesterol, which is medicated. I rattle. And I have mid-range hearing loss. Yes, should wear hearing aids, but don't. Because, for me, when I put them in, yes, I can slightly hear people more, but they exaggerate every other sound around. It just gets all too much. So I'd rather be slightly deaf. It's easier. It goes into family and history and education and communication, employment and housing, all those sorts of things. So it's pretty thorough, all in all. It says here, a diagnosis of autism requires evidence that your symptoms were present in the early development period, but may not become fully manifested until social demands exceed limited capacities, or may be masked by learnt strategies in later life. Well, clearly, if I've got to 64, I've been masking quite a bit. So there we go. There were the bits about, we didn't have too much on the birth. Obviously, no one's around to actually tell us what happened then. And I don't remember it too much. I suffered with a lot of tonsillitis. That was sort of a stressy thing. I used to get tonsillitis every month, every fortnight. But the doctor said, no, you can keep your tonsils. You're not having it often enough. Great. They're still there. Because from the tonsillitis, which was a weakness in me, then it went to the stomach. So all the nerves would come out in the stomach, so to speak. There's a lot of cramping and all that sorts of things going on. I can't remember much about school, true, apart from tagging along with friends. Yep. I was fostered when I was 13. And on the fostering notes it said I was a pleasant-mannered and seemingly easygoing. It was reported I was rather immature for my age. No change there then. And lacked knowledge of how to help around the house and were unsophisticated. Okay. So, yes, there's sort of all things about childhood and what have you on there. Social, not too good at socials. Persistent defects in social communication and social interaction across multiple complexes. Yeah. So, yes, there's trouble. So it then goes into, like, it explains a bit, and then I highlight a bit that comes down, and it says, what I'd given in that information said, the information provides sufficient evidence that you have significant difficulties with social and emotional reciprocity. I think that's how it says. Where is it? Exchanging with others. I had to look it up. I wasn't too sure on that one. But hey-ho. It says I have this another bit. This information provides sufficient evidence that you have significant difficulties around rigidity and a preference to adhere to routines. I like routines. This information provides sufficient evidence that you have highly restricted and fixated interests. Yes. Whoops. Got a tick on that one. Respond differently to sensory aspects of the environment. Yes. If you're in a garden centre, I'm the one that's going from rose to rose sniffing them. It's one of bees don't get up there, but we've not managed it so far. What else do we have? Current functioning, qualitative. You show qualitative impairments in social and emotional. Well, that's sort of a repeat, but we've got that one. That, yeah, we don't do social things, do we? Interesting bit in here. It says, it is important also to note that being autistic has its strengths. I'll truly go along with that one. Yes, it says increased honesty, consistency, fairness. You're listening to others. A success in life and well-being for autistic people is most often achieved by them and others around them, I've accepted it, and recognising the positive attributes. Positive. Let me give you an example. So I was reading a book last night and I had a bookmark in there, which is I sort of print off photos. And this was my bookmark. Now, down here it's sort of saying 2016. And although I remember drawing it, I don't remember drawing it. And I thought, well, did I draw that? I'm sure I did. And it's a mixture. So this morning, as one would, I thought, I'll have another go. Now you will see pencil marks. I haven't rubbed it out yet. Let's move back a bit. But you can see the positive attributes for me is being able to copy. I can copy art. And it's the way that I've done them in they're not all singles, they're all intermingled. And I like that as well. So and I've made like 10 colouring books, all of different ideas. There's crosses in there, there's animals in there, there's cars in there, there's dolls in there, there's patterns in there, there's you name it, I've done. And the actual Beatrix Potter one that I'm just working on, I won't colour that one in, the big one, because that will go as one of my pages in one of my colouring books, which is called Child. And what I've done is I've taken all sort of cartoons. So there's like Yogi Bear, and there's all Yogi Bear. There's Top Cat, and there's all bits of Top Cat. There's Wacky Races. And I've taken the pictures and put them all into a mixture. It's fun doing it. And with me, art has always been the same. Because I like to draw so much, and without, I'm not boasting, I'm not saying anything, but that big black and white I've done this morning. I'll pencil it all. I choose my pictures on Pinterest, pencil it all, and then I ink it in. And now I've got to wait for the ink to dry thoroughly. And I can rub off any bits of pencil I don't really want, take a photo of it, put it on the big computer, and load it into a colouring book. Simples, really, for me. So that's a positive. And there's also all the makes that I do. Look at this one. Whoops. So I thought, well, I'll get a nice little basket and it'll carry all my twiddle makes. Trouble is I made too many to get in there. I'll just show you one. So this was the latest ones. I was making squares. Just, see, sensory, lovely. And they've got beads and they've got all sorts on. But I was sitting there, I could knock one of these up in a night. Strange. But it works for me. I've got the report. I do want to explain a bit more, as in scales. I would like to know how the scales are represented on there. Yeah, but I'm glad I've got it. I'm glad I went for the assessment. It's a shame it's taken this long, but when you read all the books and all the history of autism, it was recognised right back in the 30s, Asperger's, he recognised it and Kana recognised it, but the reports weren't published, not properly. And there was a lot of ideas that autism is because of your parents, it's your parents' fault, as in their way of life has pushed this on you. Rubbish. It's your wiring. It's nobody's fault. My wires are just a bit different to everybody else's wires. But since having the assessment, since having the report, and we're now another week on or another 2 weeks on, and I'm settling to this. I'm settling, okay, I now know all these things, and perhaps I can plan a bit better when we go out. I have just ordered some noise reduction ear bits. They should come today. Good old Amazon. Because we were at getting the car service yesterday. So we went to Volvo and we sat in there. And they were just, the men, were the salesmen, whatever they were, just walking around everywhere. And it's a sort of squeaky floor and there were door bangings. And they had a radio on, they had a telly on. It was just a bit too much. So at one stage I got up and walked out. I thought, oh no, fresh air needed. So I came home and I thought, okay, if we're going to go in noisy places, that now I know I'm not just going to panic or the anxiety's not getting out of control. The wiring's playing up and it's just a bit too much for me. I can pop the earplugs and with any luck, we'll calm this down. And I won't get so uptight, which, because of the fibro, then I get uptight and that causes more pain. But it's ways now of looking at how to adjust to make life calm, peaceful, comfort, non-aggro, no shouting, no over noise. Am I glad I've gone through with it? Yes. Am I happy? Yes. I don't find that this is a problem whatsoever. I don't find it's just a label. Oh, you're on the spectrum. Yeah, okay. For me, it makes a lot of sense. And now, in my next part of this life, I'll move forward a lot more knowledgeable. It's a shame not everybody's got the chance. I'm sure there are a lot more adults out there and a lot more people my age that just slip through all the nets because of our age. And I would encourage anybody that thinks they may be on the spectrum to take it further. Get some clarification and your life just settles down and it's not so jagged, it's not so out of place. As long as you're happy with who you are, and that's the best bit. Well, I've gone on a bit on this one. Do hope you're still with me and not snoring. Or nodded off or gone to make a cup of tea. But there you go. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Do subscribe. Do give me a thumbs up. Do leave me any comments. It would be so nice to speak to other people my age of how they felt and how they've got on. YouTube, bless it, there are a lot of, I don't know, late teens to 30s, this sort of, that have been diagnosed. Let's just make a stand for us more senior people, more mature people. No, I won't go with that one. But anyway, in age, at least 50 upwards, please, talk to me. How did you get on? How do you feel now? I'd love to hear. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.